Hashavua, Daf Tesam at Aleph. Hope everyone's summer's going well. So we're up to, we have to catch up because this week's Daf is Daf Yud. So the Gemara says, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines down from the top of the Amud on Daf Tesam Aleph. Udein Marvin Simcha B'Simcha Min Allah. How do we know that you can't? The first Mandamar said that the reason you can't get married to most women, except for a Machsa Gushazai on Yom Tif, on Chol Moed, is because you can't mix one simcha with another simcha minal and dechsev, because it said, like it says in the pasuk Vayash Shleima Beis Hahi, that Shleima made at that time when he finished the Beis Hamikdash, he made a Sachag, he made a Yom Tif, V'chol Yisrael, he made a festivities, V'chol Yisrael Imoy, with all of Klal Yisrael with him, Kahal Gadol, Milavei Chamaz, from the coming of Chamaz, from where you came from Chamaz, Anachal Mitzrayim, until the Nachal of Mitzrayim, of Hashem Elokeinu, in front of Hashem, Shivas Yamim, for 7 days, Shivas Yamim, and 7 days would be after that for Sukkot. Our total Arba Asar. So says Gemara, V'im Isa the Marvin Simcha B'Simcha, and if you're allowed to be Marv Simcha B'Simcha, Yiboyle L'Mintar Achag, you should have waited until he should have pushed off the simple festivities of the Beis Hamikdash until the Chag. Umahavet Shiva La'achalacha, and made 7 days of festivities, both for Sukkot and for the Beis Hamikdash. So therefore you have a raya they marvim simcha b'simcha, and that the Gemara says not so fast. It's not a raya. The Dilma, maybe really you could be marv simcha b'simcha, but minter loy natrinon. But you're not supposed minter loy natrinon. Be'echad disrami avdinon. But maybe that if it comes out like that, you maybe minter lematrinon. You don't wait, says Rashi. Minter lematrinon is sunat a regel. Maybe you don't wait. You don't push off your nesuan on regel. That wouldn't be appropriate. How do you know that if, let's say, you got engaged on Erev Yom Tov, you want to get married in Chol Moed, how do you know you can't do that from Shleima? Maybe that's just the way things worked out. Says the Gemara, if that was true, then he should have left over a little bit so that he could make them together, and it wouldn't be a tircha on everybody to stay for 14 days instead of 7. Right? On that, right, he should have left it over a little bit, and therefore you do have a raya from the fact that he didn't let it over, that he can't be marv simcha b'simcha, that he wasn't able to leave it over. And that says the Gemara, that's not necessarily true either, because shiur bin in Beis Hamikdash l'mi sharinan, you're not supposed to push off the bin in Beis Hamikdash. So maybe really again, if it would have happened, he could have mixed it together, but you're not supposed to push off the bin in Beis Hamikdash. On that fact, says the Gemara, that's not either true. Because even though I have an answer for that also, he should have pushed off ba'alma kilya erev. He should have pushed off the part of the Beis Hamikdash that's not the actual edifice of the Beis Hamikdash. Says Rashi, what was the alma kilya erev? It was that where the roof would come up and be mekatzer and would get smaller l'mala adkam until an amma. And there the birds would sit. So they would cover it over, they would cover it with iron, and they would put in nails to make it sharp so that the birds shouldn't sit on it. So that was the amma area where the birds was kilya erev, which would hold back the birds from sitting on it. He could have pushed off that part, and then sometimes someone when they make a siyum, so they'll leave over the last line and then wait till the opportune time to make the same. Here too, he should have pushed off the Amakil Yair, which is not the actual Binyan Beis Hamikdash. Says the Gemara, no, he couldn't have done that too. Amakil Yair, Tzarech Binyan Abai, so it's still a necessary part of the Beis Hamikdash, and therefore he wouldn't have been able to move it over. Ella. So on that, the Gemara says, so therefore you don't have a raya that any marvin simcha b'simcha, because maybe You could be Ma'ariv Simcha b'Simcha, but he had no choice. These were the circumstances. Says the Gemara, Elo, rather I'll bring you a different raya. Mid'maisa Kra, from the extra pasuk, you have a raya. Michti, why is an extra pasuk? Let's see. Ksiv Arba'as Yom. They said they had festivities for 14 days. Shivas Yom and Shivas Yom Lamali. Why do you need to tell me, break it up and say Shivas Yomim, Arba'as Yom? We all know how to count. It was 14 days. Why do you have to say Shivas Yomim, Shivas Yomim? Shema, we know that the pasuk's trying to tell us Hani L'chud, V'Hani L'chud. These 7 days couldn't be mixed with the other 7 days. Amar Raparnach, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Raparnach said in the name Rabbi Yochanan, Yisashana L'Yas Yisrael Es Yom Kippurim. That year, if you make the cheshbon, if they were having a chag 7 days before Sukkot, so Sukkot is on Tesvav, the 15th day of Tishrei. Yom Kippurim is on the 10th day of Tishrei. That's 5 days before. So on that year, L'Yas Yisrael Es Yom Kippurim. They did not keep Yom Kippurim in that year in because of the festivities for the Beis Hamikdash. But the Vayudaig and Klai Yisrael was nervous. And they said, Shemen is chayvu senem sheYisrael. Maybe the haters of Klai Yisrael deserve to get destroyed now because we didn't keep Yom Kippurim. They meant themselves. Maybe we deserved to get destroyed, but they didn't want to say themselves. So they said, as a hint, they said the Seinem sheYisrael, the haters of Yisrael. Yatsa Baskol went out v'Amar and said to them, Kulchem zumanim l'chayim haba. Don't worry, you're all prepared to go to Chayim Haba for the great thing that you did for doing the festivities for the Beis Hamikdash, even though you didn't keep Yom Kippur. My darsh. How did they darsh? And how did the people know that they didn't have to keep Yom Kippur? Amru, they said, Kal v'chomer. We'll make a Kal v'chomer. Ma Mishkan. We find by the Mishkan, She'en Kedusha, so Kedusha Ilam, that the Kedusha of the Mishkan is not forever. After the Mishkan, they were able to bring Karbanos on a Bama. It wasn't something that the Kedusha stayed forever. The Karban Yachid, and when they had the Chanukas of the Mishkan, the Karbanos were Karban Yachid, Doicha Shabbos, and still those Karbanos pushed off Shabbos. The Isser Skila, which is an Isser Skila, it's a big Isser, it's a terrible Isser. Migdash, by the Beis HaMikdash, the Kedushas Kedushas Olam, that the Kedusha is forever. After the Beis HaMikdash is destroyed, even when it's destroyed, you're not allowed to bring any more karbanos even on a bama, because the kedusha of the Beis Hamikdash stays forever. V'karban sibor, and they were bringing a karban sibor. They asked that there's also karban yachid there, but they were bringing karban sibor v'yom kippurim, and yom kippurim the anish kares is anish kares. Now, even though kares is terrible, but it's not as much as skila, so therefore it was less. And it was a karban tzibur, which was for the tzibur, which is always more important. Like kolshkein, all the more so that they could not keep, just like they were machal Shabbos by the Mishkan. Kolshkein, they could be machal Yom Kippurim and eat by the festivities of the Beis Hamikdash. Elamayo yidoyim. So why were they nervous? It says Gemara, they were nervous because hasam sarach gavaya. They felt that maybe over there it was in need of the gavaya. In other words, there was karbanis. There wasn't personal festivities of eating, drinking, and all that, or something to be Mechal Shabbos, Hachat Sarach Hedyot. Here, the fact that they were eating on Yom Kippurim was the needs of a Hedyot. It was personal. So therefore, they wwere nervous about that. So Mefarshim, so then that's a good point. So maybe that messes up the Kal v'chomer. So they say no, because because it wasn't true, because them eating on Yom Kippurim in happiness for the Beis Hamikdash, that's called Sarach Kavaya as well. So frankly, Gemara, if they learned from the what? From the Mishkan that they brought Karbanos who was Sarach Kavaya, they should have done the festivities. They should have brought the Karbanos Mechalei Nechlu V'lei Lishti. But why did they eat and drink? They shouldn't have eaten and drinking. And says the Gemara, in Simcha B'lei Achil L'Shtiyah. There's no simcha without eating and drinking. How do we know the actual Mishkan? How do we know? They made a Kal v'chomer that by the Mishkan they were Doicha Shabbos. So all the more so by the Beis Hamikdash we could be Doicha Yom Kippur. How do we know you Doicha the Mishkan's Doicha Shabbos? Elam, if you're going to tell me Midichsir from the fact that it says B'yayim Rishon, by the Mishkan all the Nesiim brought Karbanos. So it says B'yayim Rishon on the first day. And then it keeps on going, B'yam HaSheni, B'yam HaShishi, and it says B'yam HaShvi, Yom HaShvi is Shabbos. So it says Gemara, that's not necessarily true. Dilma Shvi la Karbanis. Maybe it means the 7th day of the Karbanis, but maybe they skipped Shabbos, and the 7th day of Karbanos was a Sunday. And Rav Nachman Yitzchak says, Amar Kra, because it says on the 11th day, a double word by Yom. By Yom Ashtei Asar Yom. On the day of the 11th day. Ma Yom Kula Ratzav. That extra word of day tells us, just like a day is always complete, a day goes 24 hours complete, it doesn't stop in middle. Af Ashtei Asar Yom. Af Ashtei Asar. Even so to those 11 days, Kula Ritzuf, and all went straight and in a completely straight, and therefore Shabbos was one of them, and therefore they were Machal Shabbos. But still, maybe it just means the day that were, when it says Yom, maybe it doesn't mean the straight days, maybe it just means the days that are fitting. You're right, straight days that are fitting. Straight days that are fitting. Says Rashi, maybe it was just those days that were worthy of having festivities. And for the Gemara, it says Yom a second time, Ksiv on the 12th day. Ksiv Krachwina, there's another extra pasuk. By Yom Shneimas Yom, it says double. By Yom Shneimas Yom, on the day of the 12th day. Ma Yom Kularatzav, to push this point that just like a day is complete, Af Shneimas Yom Kulan Ratzuvim, so too the day is. So too the 12 days were complete. So the Gemara originally learned it from Yom, from the 11th day, and then the Gemara says maybe you need complete days. On that, and it teaches us you do need complete days. On that, the Gemara says it's not necessarily true, because it could mean, even though Yom is a complete day, maybe it means you go straight on the days that are worthy. The Gemara, I guess, didn't hold that that's a definite reason. And then the Gemara says, but the second pasuk, B'yom Shnei Asar Yom, on the 12th day, solidifies that to teach us that it has to be straight even through Yom Kippurim. Kulam Ritzufim. Maybe it also means by the 12th day, the worthy days not Yom Kippurim, days that are worthy to eat and drink. Says Gemara, then you wouldn't need two psukim. Zak the Gemara weiter, Mikdash D'Deichim Yom Kippurim Minol, and how do we know that the Mikdash, the base of Mikdash, is D'Deichim Yom Kippurim? So now you have to understand, what does this mean? We already said you have the Kal V'Chomer. You already have the Kal V'Chomer. So either you could say, how do we know from the pasuk? Where do we see it in the pasuk? Where do we see it in the pasuk that that's actually what they did? Well, Mikdash D'Deichim Yom Kippurim Minol, and how do we know they actually did that? Where do we see it in the pasuk? If you're going to tell me from the fact that it says 14 days. And therefore you see that they had the Chag for 14 days straight. The same question that we asked by the Mishkan, you could ask here. Maybe it just means worthy days, and therefore they might have skipped 14 days, but skipped over Yom Kippurim. Says Gemara, Gomer Yom Yom Mehasam. They learned the Hekesh that it says Yom by the Mishkan, and it also says Arba Asar Yom. It says Yom Yom, and therefore we learn that it was straight days. Mehasam from over there. Yatsa Batsko v'Amalem Kulchum Uzman M'Chayim Haba. The Batsko went out and said, "You're all deserving of Chayil Maba." Uminalan the Achalei. How do we know again from the pasuk that they actually had a Mechila the Tani Tachlifa? Because Tachlifa learned. It says by Yom Hashmini, on the 8th day, on Shmini Atzeres, which is the 22nd of Tishrei, Shalach Esam Shlomo sent the people away. Vayivarchu es hamelach. They benched the king. Vayechul alem. They went back to their tents, which the Gemara is going to say means their wives. Smeichim, happy, v'toiv leiv, and good in heart. Al kol ha'toiv, on all the good Asher asa Hashem l'David avdei l'Yisrael amai, on all the good that Hashem did to David, his servant, and to Yisrael, his nation. Lo leim. What does it mean? They went to their tents. The Gemara is going to dash in each part of the pasuk. Sheholchu u'matzu n'sheim mitayra. They went to their tents. They found their wives in purity, that they could be with them. Smeichim, they were happy. What does that mean in the pasuk? Shenenim mizivat Shechina, that they were neneh from the splendor, the radiance of the Shechina, because he accepted their karbanos. V'toive leiv, good of heart. Shkol echad nisabra ishtay b'ben zachar. Each person, there was a big nace when they went home. They impregnated their wives with a ben zachar, that they would have a son. Al kol ha'toiva, and the last part of the pasuk means on all the good. What does it mean on all the good? Sheyatza batzkol. That means a batzkol went out. V'amrlam told them, Kulchem uzman chayim haba. You're all deserving of chayil maba. You all get chayil maba, because the real good is the good of chayil maba. But it says, Akol ha'teiva, that Hashem did l'David avdoi u'Yisrael amai, for David his servant and Yisrael his nation. Bishal Yisrael amai. It's good. The good that he did good for Yisrael amai. That makes sense. The achulu. The good that he did was that he gave us a kapara that we ate on Yom Kippurim, Avon Yom Kippurim. El David avdoi, but for David his servant Mahi, what's that kapara? What kapara did David get? Rabbi Yehuda said in the name of Rab, when Shlomo HaMelech wanted to enter, bring in the Aron into the Beis HaMikdash, the Kodesh HaKadoshim, Dav Kusharim, the gates closed, Zebas Lel Zeb were tightened, and he couldn't get in. Amar Shlomo said, Esrim Rabbo Ranani's 24 praises to Hashem of Tefillah V'Loinena, he still wasn't answered. Pasach, he opened up his Pasach V'Amar, he opened his mouth and he said, Su'u Sharmer Sheichem, lift up your gates. V'loi nene, but he wasn't answered. Kivan Shamar. Then once he said the following words, he was answered. What did he say? Hashem Elokeichem, al toshe pnei Mashiachecha. Hashem Elokeim, please do not turn back your face on your anointed, do not turn al toshe pnei Mashiachecha, the face of your anointed one, which means Zachar l'chaste David avdecha. And remember the chesed of David, your servant. Miyad nene. Right away, he was answered. Ba'isasha on that day, Ba'isasha at that time, nepchu pnei seine David. The haters of David's face were nepchu, turned over, kashulak dera, like the blackness under a pot that turns black on the fire. V'yadu akol, and everyone knew shemachal HaKadosh Baruch Hu loisayavai, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was meichel David on that Aveira. It sounds like that knowledge only happened after the Panam Shel Seinam turned black. So I'm not sure. It sounds like after it turned black, everyone knew. That's what it sounds like from the wording of the Gemara. You could say maybe because no one fought it. They saw nobody was fighting it. It was clear to everybody that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was meichel him on the oven, on the Aveira, that it looked like an Aveira with Bathsheba. With that story with David and Bathsheba. Rabbi Yonasan ben Asmai, Rabbi Yehuda ben Gerim, Rabbi Yonasan ben Asmai and Yehuda ben Gerim, Tanu Parshas Nadarim, they were learning Mesechus Nadarim by Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, with Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. Iftar minei Bu'orta, they left him in the evening, and then they ended up not leaving the town. L'tzafar, in the morning, Hadar, they came back to come Iftar minei, to say goodbye again. Amaluhu, he said to them, V'lav Iftarusu minei Bu'orta, didn't you say your goodbyes last night to me? Amalei l'matein Rabbeinu, you yourself, our master, taught us Talmud shenifta mirabbi, that a Talmud that leaves his Rebbe v'lon ba'is here and he ends up staying in the city v'tzarach lifter mimenu pamacharis, and he has to go back to him and say goodbye again. How do we know? Shenemar, from our pasuk by Shlomo HaMelech, it says by Yom HaShmini, on the 8th day, which is the 22nd of Tishrei, Shalach es ha'am v'yibaruchu es HaMelech. He sent forth the people and blessed He sent forth the people and they blessed Shlomo HaMelech. But then it says in Divrei Hayamim Beis, it says the next day, on the 23rd day, Shalach Hazam, he sent the people away. If he sent them away on the 22nd, why did he send them away on the 23rd? Elamikan, from here we see Talmud and Niftam Rabbi, that a Talmud that leaves from his Rabbi, V'lon ba'is here, and ends up staying in the same town, doesn't end up leaving Tzarech Lifter Menu Pamacharis, has to say goodbye again. Amalei, so Reb Shimon bar Yochai said, the Rebbe of these two people said to his son, right, to his son, he was so impressed with his Talmidim, so he said to his son, B'nei Adam alalu anashim shotzureim, these people are great people. Zil gabein, deliver, go to them that they should bench you. Azal, he went to them, Ashachinu, they didn't know that he was there, he came to them and they were learning. Ashachinu, he found them, the karamu kra'adadi, they were learning and asking about a steer in the psukim. Ksiv, it says, Palis magor aglecha, weigh the steps of the course of your feet. The magel is like the the way of life, the way that you go, your life. You should weigh the way you're going to see, says Rashi, that you should make sure to do the bigger mitzvahs that come your way. In all your ways you should set up, you should prepare. But it says in a different pasuk, both in Mishlei, Eirachayim pen to palace, that the way of life you should not weigh the Eirachayim. You should not weigh the mitzvahs. You should do whatever mitzvah comes your way. Pen to palace, lest you do that. You should weigh lest you weigh your ways. And for the Gemara, like Kasha, so they answered. It's not a question. Kama mitzvah sheshal asay de'acherim, the ones that a mitzvah that other people could do. So that you should let other people do and do the bigger mitzvah. Kama mitzvah sheshal asay de'acherim, and one is a mitzvah that's not possible to do through others, and then you should do even the smaller mitzvah. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. We'll finish this tomorrow.